here?
We are 1 minute fashionably late. Is that who
What?
Soulgasm is? Is that Byron?
Yeah, that's Byron. Yep.
Saw it. Saw Byron.
Saw, dude.
So Byron doesn't work or doesn't live in Sac. He lives in Arizona.
Phoenix.
Okay.
Phoenix. But
Gotcha.
he's a truck driver, so he's all over the country.
Okay, so when he was at your shop last week, he was just passing through.
No, he flew into the shop early and then rode with us to surf and helped out at surf and then rode back and then flew home. He left today, actually. He's been here a couple days. So we are getting ready to do a big, large, wild ass build for Byron.
That's what he was
this will be my first steel cage build.
Trying to leave. He's gonna be stuck out.
Yeah, he was telling me a little bit about it at surf.
We've been talking about like numerous 18s. We were talking like crazy talk a little bit. We were talking about like 12 18s for a minute. I think 8 or 9 is going to be the number. I think we're gonna shoot for some efficiency.
That's my thing. I love efficiency.
We'll do three salt 8Ks on like 9 badass super duper 18-inch subwoofers that are kind of sort of a secret ish.
Okay.
I love secrets.
Okay. Yeah, 9, that's enough subs. You don't need to go like any more than that. That's plenty of 18s.
Motherfucker has 9 subs. How many subs are you doing, Steve?
9, but I mean
yes, of course.
You don't need
what
to
size subs you doing?
Me and Byron's 18.
Yeah, you, Steve. 9, 12?
No, he's doing 15s.
Okay.
Yeah, the theme of my build is Oreo cookie double stuff. Does that make any sense?
Oh no, it makes sense, bud.
You want 2 black guys to double penetrate you?
Hell yeah. No,
I asked if it was 9 because the Bronco is 9 subs too.
Yeah, right. Yep. There's enough room to do like 20 12s or 9 15 or 16 12s or 9 15s, and we went to 9 15s. I think we possibly could have fit 20 12s, but that's just I don't think I can fit enough amps.
What was it? 24 12s in the Windy City Bourbon, right?
Yeah.
24. That thing was parked across from me at CES that one year, and he would play it for like 10 or 15 minutes at a time every hour and a half. And like as soon as he'd light that thing off, this massive crowd would come over to that thing, and we just stayed demoing all day. The Green Monster would just play because I got really good at giving the 85% demo.
Can you teach Steven how to do that?
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about it that day. Like, I got all mad at a bunch of guys at the DB Drag finals last year. They were putting it on at a drag strip, and there was a huge drag racing event going on at the same time. And as soon as the sun went down, drag racing was over for the day. And like 40, 50 people from the drag racing things, almost all together in like 3 waves of people came over, and they were all asking people to hear their stereo. Like they weren't asking, can I get a demo? They were like, can I get in that? Can I hear it? Can you turn that on? Like they'd never seen anything like it. And there's like 5 or 6 guys with like 160 builds. And I'm like, dial that motherfucker at 60%. They've never seen anything like it. As long as it's loud enough to blow a hair trick and shake them around a little bit, you don't have to generate any heat in your subs or drain your batteries, anything. Play that shit. And they were like, oh, I don't want to risk hurting anything. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't have to hurt it to blow. I mean, these people all have shit loads of money. They have $250,000 race cars and giant trailers. They want to be part of this industry. But you guys are all, no, bro, I can't. I was like, what the fuck? And I was out there and I had the bloodbath with me, and wasn't competing, so I had the lights all on and I was full tilting, and they were like, "Thanks, man, these guys wouldn't play," and I was like, "Well, they're all competing and they didn't want to risk hurting anything, and they've been doing this shit all day. It's almost like if it was the end of the day for you and somebody wanted you to take them down the drag strip." And the guy was like, "I'll take you down the drag strip in my car right now. They could throw me out of this motherfucker. You want to go?" I was like, "Well, you're my kind of guy, and I don't know how to argue with that. I hop in." Well, and I was super pissed at all the car audio guys there. I did a live feed about it. I was bitching them out. I was like, "Well, you guys are fucking up. You're being weird. You're telling people no." Like,
what show was this at?
World Finals at it was at Sac Raceway. And it was Byron was with me. Him and I were like, "Oh, they're doing finals," and we worked, and the sun was going down. I was top in the bloodbath, and we drove across town 45 minutes. We drove Brian Rogers, the Sinister Car Audio bloodbath truck, way the hell out to Sac Raceway, and we're like visiting with a bunch of the guys and this and that, and all. And as soon as the drag racing guys were done, man, there was easy 30, 35, 40 people.
Yeah,
that all came over in waves, and they were like, "Oh, these guys won't turn their shit on." And I'm like,
"We will."
I'm like, well, I mean, I came out here to do this with it, and so I was playing, and I think Brett Barber had his truck playing pretty good, but he was like, "I kind of have a minimal subsystem," but his doors were fucking banging. He had some dope ass chew bar doors, and he was rocking out. It was pretty badass, but that was it.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean,
the Mullen performance guy, like, no, I totally encourage people to be weird, because you must not know me, but I get fucking.
No,
weird.
I mean, if you're gonna spend all this money building your stuff, you got to be able to.
I mean,
at least I don't know. I build my stuff to enjoy it with other people. I never really got super serious into competing. It's just I do run through the lanes, but it's definitely not what drives my builds.
So I was talking about, Windy City Bourbon and the Green Monster. Green Monster's parked right across the way, and he would light that thing. I mean, he'd play it until subs were hot, amps were hot, and he'd shut it down, let it cool off, and he'd walk off for a while, which is great. But I was like, as long as people wanted demos, I just was staying giving demos. And
it's just hard not to.
We turned the Green Monster on at 9:50 a.m. and it was 7:15 in the evening when I caught the amp on fire, but that was just because I was drunk. I mean, the floor was ripped, and my amp rack was bouncing 2 inches, ripped floor, going crazy, and I was making heat, and I was clipping, and I was voltage dropping, and I kind of had given up on the 85% demos because I had a half a dozen beers in me, and that's really all it takes. And
right.
So, but long before that, the Windy City Bourbon, and it was amazing. It was so fucking badass. He had that huge hole ripped in the floor, and it was just the shit. The parts are ripping off of the door frame and shit. It was so cool.
Yeah,
but then he'd shut it down, and the big crowd of people would all wander over to the Green Monster. And I'd be like, "All right, here's that big line again." And we were doing 4-door demos, so we're letting people get in and out, and then we dissipate the line a little bit. Usually, by the time the line would be kind of fading out, he would turn the bourbon on again, and the crowd would come back, and then on, and then I'd get the people that would circle back and be like, "I was in the back for the last one. Can I get in the front?" I'd be like, "Yeah, get fucking." And so I don't, and I was. For the most part, most of the day, I was playing it at about 80 to 85% of what it could really do. I'm like, here's a 155, 156 demo. If I really pushed it, I might have been touching a 60. I'm not sure. The loudest I ever got it to meter was when I had the 18s. But when I had the 915s, I never metered it. And it was definitely louder at peak with the 915. Yeah. So I figured I was touching a 160. So, but I mean, obviously there's lots of things that are louder, but not a whole lot of things would actually sit and demo all fucking
as long.
like literally not.
You were probably there for my
much better
longest, Jeffrey. Where did that? No, should I missed it? Where did that question go? Oh, right here.
Milo. So real quick to make it clear to everybody watching, the Raiden truck, the F450 is not my truck. That is a customer's truck, and I just want to make sure that. People know that because people assume that it's mine. It's not. And Jim is the owner, and he's a great dude. He's a great customer. He's happy to pay. and for all the crazy work that we do. And he's super excited, loves what we did. And was another thing that was really cool. I don't know if you guys noticed it. You probably saw it there, Steve. His kids loved it. They were climbing all over and climbing in and out. His stepdaughter climbed into the box and reconnected the Anderson connector that had disconnected in the box. And but yeah, anyway. But yeah. So what was the question that you popped up on there, Steve?
How many demos have you given in a day? I think it was.
Oh. Shit,
so yeah,
man.
I mean,
Sky High Barbecue, Sky High Barbecue on the when I had the 618s in it, I was playing it at 8:15, 8:30 a.m. and about 6 o'clock in the afternoon, when everybody was wrapping it up, and I had not idled because I had my foot in it a bit, or I had the idle adjust in it running at 2,000 or 2,200 RPMs most of the day, but I went through a full tank of gas sitting in one spot.
Yeah.
And I never shut it down. And I pretty much was consistently demoing it all day. I think I handed the head unit over to Darian and went inside and talked to John and the guys for a while. But I mean, it was, we do 4-seat demos. So the line is, basically 4 people, and people are getting in and out. And the Green Monster is kind of a fun anomaly. It would play 16 and 18 hertz really, really well. And so it wouldn't wear me out. I can't do 30 and 35 hertz for 9 hours. I'll be like a pounding headache and it'll be over. But 16 hertz is like a wind hammer, and it's like a full body massage. And it's like, you feel kind of relaxed. Like your whole body was getting hit by one of those like massage guns.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it was a bunch of demos in one day is approximate number.
I think you were there for my longest demo session. It was at the barbecue.
I think it was the year before when your amp caught on fire.
It was that year. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think whenever the barbecue started, 10 a.m. till, I mean, shit, the amp caught on fire mid demo. We put the fire out, took the amp out, and I just put a spare in its place.
Yeah.
So I fired it back up and just started going again.
I helped you with that. It was funny because we were putting the other amp in, and the amp on the ground was smoldering and still on fire. So we started taking it apart to put it out real quick, and then kept going. Yeah. But man, it just kept on chooching along. I was like, that's fucking badass.
So I can't see who it is. Someone said they heard Duncan's van at the taco festival. It was ridiculous. Bro, you heard that thing at like literally 10%, 15% volume. That it was so down on power because the 16K blew up at SEMA. And then I think it was 2 16Ks wired up to like 3 ohm or something. It was nothing. And then now it's 12 6Ks, and it's ignorant now.
I can't wait to hear it.
I think I have gotten like 4 really epic everything it had demos from the van.
Hopefully,
I have not.
Hopefully, it has
because
what's
every
that?
time I happen to. What are you gonna say?
Hopefully, it has some more in it soon.
I haven't gotten a full tilt demo of that thing because every time I've gotten in it, it's always been
down a little bit.
A couple years at Slam, which is at the very end after 2 days worth of demos, and it's
broken.
Like one of the top 4 broken. I could kind of hear it. And then at SEMA, I mean, we barely got to really get into it before that amp let go, and then
unfortunately, that's because then when you turned up and it blew up, which is the bad part. It was like a mid 50 SPL wise, so it was like nothing. And someone's like, "Your amp's on fire." Okay.
Well, we got a pretty one of my more popular videos that I have online is from when we were at the Sundown show last year, Drew. And at the beginning of it, it's early morning. It's like first thing. And I'm like, hey, let me get on this thing. And you were like, oh, you're going to get the sauce. You can hear you saying it as I was approaching. And I was a little nervous. I'm oh shit, here I go. I'm like, is it better to just stand in the door? And it's like, yeah. And it ripped my Sundown straw hat off and like bashed it in my face like a dozen times. Like, it was like, he's playing, 18, 20 hertz. And it was like, and I was like, ow, that kind of fucking hurt. And then later on in the day, I went in the restroom and washed my hands, and I was like, my face is kind of dingy and dirty from being out there. And I'm like washing my face, and it's like there's little spots that burning on me. I'm like, ow, fuck. And then, excuse me. And I look at myself in the mirror, and I got these little cuts from the straw hat. My hat. The straw hat. My straw hat. It cut my face in 4 or 5 spots. I had these little scabs on my face the next day. I looked like a fucking tweaker, like I was picking my face or some shit. And I'm explaining, and they're like, "Oh, you got a thing?" And I'm like, "That's a scab."
That's a demo
Steve's
scar.
truck beat the shit out of me with my hat. I super got my ass. It's kind of funny in the video, but for 3 days, I was like, "Ow, my nose."
I've learned my lesson.
Anytime I
get a big build like that, if I have a land, like when we were at Surf and
take it off, Andrew, you're tugging your shirt.
Well, Andrew wanted to give me a 2-click. He's got 2 extra clicks for you, so he threw me in there. And the first thing you got to do is the lanyard they give you that's got that hard plastic card. I mean, I've had those things in the past just fly up.
Take out an eyeball. You could literally lose an eyeball from that shit.
You have to prepare in these big builds now. You have to take your sunglasses off, put them in your hand, hold your hat, hold your lanyard, make sure your shit doesn't. It's taking your eye out.
So that dude asked if the van would be at the Showdown. I think Steven's in the chat, as the other Facebook user says. He replied, "Bro, it's been the toughest ever to keep from breaking. Almost wanted to throw in the towel a couple of times."
You don't have to turn it all the way up the whole time, Steve.
Yeah. Well, with him, he's so I guess he's used to the truck, so he's used to feeling as it's turning up. And you're demoing the van, you don't feel if it's turned up or not. You can't tell. So he just gives it the sauce.
Outside. Yeah, but it's supposed to be part of the SEMA 12, if you want to call it. I got 12 cars.
As far as I'm aware, it's playing. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think he's just been. I know he's been messing with the truck, but I think the van's fine.
Yeah, he wants to make the drive in the Tahoe. I know he does.
The first vehicle we bring out there is probably going to be the Nitro.
Yeah, for next SEMA, it'd be a good one to throw in there.
Going to be the Nitro because I told a certain guy in Vegas with a Jeep that I was going to drag his ass with it. So I'm going to stick to it. And it's going to be a kicker this time. It's going to be even worse.
So we got a comment from Corn Nut. And it says, my first demo of an SPL rig was from Bobby. If you were talking about the Raiden, now the Raiden is loud.
Yes, we can see your chat on YouTube.
What's that?
Someone asked if we can see their chat here on YouTube. No, we can see it.
Yeah, I can see all the chats. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Raiden wouldn't really be considered an SPL rig. I mean, it's a demo rig, but man, there's so many things that are much louder than the Raiden. I mean, it's loud and it sounds really pretty, and it's built to be able to play all day long. And the way I was playing it at Surf, I had to keep on charging, but I was battery deficient by the Saturday afternoon because I'm dumb and I don't know how to operate a charger, or a generator at the same time. But anyway, we're gonna add some more battery to it, probably this week or early next week before Sky High. So I'll be able to do more than a minute and a half, of a heavy demo, and then wait a minute and then do another minute and a half. It'll be more of 3 or 4 or 5 minutes of everything it's got, and then 2 minutes of peak those batteries back up, and then the next person in, kind of a thing. But to touch back on that's the loudest thing. Cornut, when you see, Steve Duncan's van or Chris Lee's truck or Clippo or the Hutchinson rig or any of these
Greg Corbin's truck
Greg Corbin's truck and the B2 Bourbon, these things are 170 dB. I mean, they're all kind of undrivable. You're not going to go chooching down the road in this thing I'm going to go get a pizza. But it's going to pull off the trailer and they're going to park it and you're going to be scared of it, and you should be.
Hell yeah.
Clippo almost dragged me into that like you see the video, and I was like, dude, it's like dragging me into the port, and I'm like holding on for real. But I was a little nervous that it might just pull me in anyway, even though I was holding on, because that's how, like,
it's so awesome.
That was the scariest moment of a demo, other than when I was in the cube and it cut loose a kidney stone on me. Yeah, that thing moved, and I pissed that thing out a few days later, and I don't know if that was a good thing or not. You know what I mean?
It was a good thing.
It may have saved it from getting bigger. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So maybe that's it. It's a kidney stone therapy. That's why we have to build these things. What if that's like
the future,
the magical thing? That's how they do it. They're like, oh yeah, oh, you have kidney stones. Okay, let's find you the next crazy car audio. We're gonna assign you to a Steve Duncan and a Chris Lee, and there you go. So Greg can go get a pizza. Hey, his is like the loudest driven thing fucking ever for sure, right? Can anybody? You guys think of anything that's even close to that shit that somebody drives to the fucking store and gets a pizza? Like, for sure.
He does take it to. It's literally his daily driver. He drives it to the gym every day, and I don't know. It's fucking crazy.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah, it does an 80 plus and 70 and 60. It's just. I don't know what he's doing either, because I saw he pulled his subs. I don't know if he's got.
Yeah, I saw that.
Something new going in, or what's up there? Maybe just fresh recones.
I wonder if just sometimes they get a little bit extra tired, the woofers, and they kind of like, you get like, I'm just going to do these recones before I start nuking them, and it's more of a problem, you know?
Could be.
Or maybe, maybe his sub builders are like, hey, I got those spiders we talked about 9 months ago. And it's like, fuck, man, I want to know what it's going to do with those, you know?
Here, there's quite a few people talking about your truck. Well, maybe we should
it's not my truck.
Not your truck, but your build.
The build.
I'm sorry, the build. The truck that you built that you brought to surf. How about that?
Yes, sir. Okay. The Raiden truck's a lot of fun. 12 Gately Audio 12s powered by 12 B2 Audio 4500.1s, each wired at 1 ohm. 6 limitless Cyber 12K batteries.
Let's see here.
It's got a bunch of B2 speakers.
You can see the pictures right now, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start with what the heck.
Those are good ones.
What happened to the pictures I was just looking at?
I think that's some of them right there, right?
That's super weird.
What happened?
I have no idea. I was just scrolling through the pictures and they disappeared. There's these that are left, but yep.
It was the other email. But yeah. That's at night while your glow competition was going on. Me and Allison and Byron and Jim and his family went to dinner. And after dinner, we came out and the sun had just gone down. So probably right about the same time you guys were doing a glow thing, we had the truck lit up in the parking lot. We had a crowd of about 20 people wander over from the restaurant, and they're all, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, turn it on. And I'm like, I'm not going to turn that on here. Like, you guys should come out to the show tomorrow. But, so yeah, while you did send me a message, but man, I can't have notifications on my Facebook Messenger on my phone, or my phone would like blow up in my pocket from all the messages. You have my personal number. You know to call me in the future. For the next time there's a glow competition and I have that.
Yeah.
I was like shit.
Jim was like, what do you mean there was a glow competition? I was like, yeah, there's a glow competition. You missed it.
I was on the phone with Jim this morning. Jim is the guy that owns the Raiden, and he's like, and we had sent him a roller video, because last night, Byron was leaving this morning, so we all went out to sushi, and Allison and Nathan, my stepson, were in Allison's little car, and we were in the Raiden. Me and Byron, we drove the Raiden because we got an F-350 in the install bay, and I can't fit 2 gigantic trucks. So I put my truck in the install bay with that, and I drove the Raiden home. So we did the roller video on the way, and he's like, the front end doesn't glow enough. I want you to build me a custom grill with a bunch of acrylic and those LEDs and some aluminum. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay,
it doesn't glow enough.
it doesn't glow enough. I'm like,
yeah,
you know what's gonna happen next? Is I'm gonna be like, all right, we're done with the grill, and you're gonna have to do something with that tailgate or the back bumper or something. I'm gonna be like,
yeah,
okay. So anyway,
no, that's a badass truck. You know, the only thing that it's not, there's nothing really wrong with it at all. It's just when you have a lifted truck like that, it's hard to get the experience from the outside,
yeah,
like you normally would from a car that's just normal height.
right.
Just
It's not as loud.
60s.
Well, in
Yeah,
the
it's
inverse of
above
that
your head, you know.
is Andrew's the B2 Bourbon. When it lays frame, it's like a seismic anomaly. That thing is droning from shit a half a mile away. You hear that thing just thundering, and you're like, "What the hell is?" And you see it, and you're like, "Oh shit!" It's like the ground's shaking. And when you walk up and you're waiting for your demo, and the ground's shaking under your feet, you're like, "I don't know if I should get in this thing."
Yeah, that's the only thing. But besides that, I mean, it's obviously.
This young lady was kind of reluctant. I had to promise her it wouldn't hurt. And I'm like, dude, this thing isn't going to hurt you a bit. It's not like some of these other vehicles. But yeah.
The roof's still definitely moving, even with all that bracing.
Yeah, it is.
That roof is 2 3/4 of an inch thick. It's got that big ass brace. There is so much adhesive. When I was standing on top of the box and I had the truck playing, the roof was thrashing around. I was like, fuck, man. I thought I did all I could, but I think the aluminum
is not.
I think the aluminum body actually is a bit extra flexy compared to the steel body vehicles. So, yeah,
that definitely could be why.
Yep.
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it now.
Yeah, we can hear it now. We didn't hear it before. So yeah, it does some pretty killer hair tricks and stuff, and it sounds really good. It does
definitely
have an
looks
ESP
louder
in it,
than it was
before. We're gonna have that's one of the vehicles that Drew is gonna do some tuning with us on to try and make it sound even more beautiful. I mean, it's real good. It sounds really, really good listening to music. So we're gonna make some improvements of it.
That's cool, man. I think this box design is way better. Personally,
I think so too. I think Drew might be able to help me figure out why it's better. I didn't expect it to be better. The volumes are almost identical. I mean, if we're more than 2% off on either chamber, I'll be surprised. And then the port is literally the exact same port assembly. That's the only part of the box that we kept the same. And
I think the single plane has a lot to do with it, personally.
Yeah, and then having the subs grouped together closer because they're in like 2 6-packs side by side versus having them all in a big stretched row and
helps if I'm not muted. Yeah, I was waiting for you to stop talking. I was gonna say they're all on the same plane now, and they're all closer together.
Yep. Yeah, dude. I didn't realize the thing was that lit up underneath too.
Yeah, we made all those acrylic components to fit into the suspension. That was an idea I had right when the truck arrived, and I was like, me and Jim was here visiting at the shop. We're walking across the parking lot, and I like pointed at the suspension. I was like, I have an idea for this. And he's like, oh, we're going to have to do that. So this young lady'd never been in anything like that at all. She was super duper nervous. She's all, oh my God. And then as soon as he did that, she just started giggling. I really love the people that have never experienced anything like it. The people that had no idea it existed, and at Surf is one of those places where people are like, they're walking into the casino and they're like, what is it? What's happening? How does that happen? Yeah. That's the music, and and you're like, get in. And then they're like, oh, it doesn't hurt. And you're like, no.
Look, Jeffrey, I have made it clear that I barely know what I'm doing. So I've made it clear. I've told everyone.
I've tuned a bunch of vehicles. I've done a couple of, kind of SQ, not exactly competition vehicles, but like high-end custom vehicle. I've learned a couple of really good processes of tuning. Learned from Aaron White at Audio Dynamics, and I'm pretty fucking good.
Cool.
I think I am. I like the way things that I build sound, and most of my customers do too. But if I can have Drew come and hang out and show me some just a little bit of the fancy tricks that some of you guys are doing, Jeff, I think it'll be great. And it's kind of one of these iron sharpens irons kind of situations where I'm going to be able to learn the coolest tricks that I can apply right now with the understanding that I have.
I'm going to have you spending money.
I don't have to go anywhere to learn it. I can fly my buddy in and he'll do it for me, and it'll be a really good time. So
you'll be ordering from JL Audio before the end of the day Friday. Because I'm gonna bring the Max with me, so
that's fine. Yeah. I can say I have doubts of that, but I won't say that that's for sure. So, but yeah,
you'll want one once you see how
it works.
Yeah, you'll want it. Like it's so good. The guys at a major competitor of JL have started the process to buy one, like company wise. It's that cool. Good. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know who this Facebook user is, but I have to agree.
I'll go to Surf one day.
Not another show like Surf, and we got to get you out there next year, Drew. It's just the location. It's the best location.
The weather could not have been better.
Yeah, this year.
Saturday morning when it was like, especially when it was like Saturday morning and the cloud, there was still cloud cover. It was just so good. I was like, this is the best. I was out there. It's kind of. I was working on that door that we had the funky wire connect thing. I had the door panel off, and I was wrenching on it a little bit.
Weren't sweating to death.
Skyler was helping me, and I was like, it's so fucking cool out here. It's like, this place is the best. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been at Slam when it was raining, and I was like, if it's like this often, I'm never fucking coming to this event again. This sucks ass. And I was out there, was it last year? And it was, I don't know, 10 million degrees, whatever the fuck it was. I was like, I'm going to die. Like, I want to go home. This sucks. It's too hot. None of us remember this year we did pretty good at filling out those sheets. This is this, that one did that. We were that first year we had them. It was so hot. It was like, oh, these are sweaty. And we just threw them away. Like, never mind. You're like, who's winning? I'm all Steve. Like, which one? I'm like, both of them. He's fucking killing it.
Yes, both of them.
Pretty much.
Let's go home.
So that year, the van was badass, but he did nuke some subs, and he was like, I loved it. He had that commitment to demoing and that relentless go, and he like was fixing shit right there. And he's like, we'll have it playing in a minute. He's like sweaty and he's got fucking glue on his arms and shit. I'm like, yeah. But then Nick is over there with the truck, like, you want to get in? And he's just like giving just this epic demo after demo. I like when Nick was operating Steve's truck at Slam that year. That is like a highlight moment of getting a demo and participating in any car audio event or anything. It was the truck was so much fun. Me and my buddy Rudy that passed away not long after, and Jerry and Anthony and Rudy's wife, and like everybody that was kind of like in our like my little mini entourage of people that were hanging out with me. We all got in the truck and got this super, and we walked away and everybody was like all giddy and happy and high five and talking about how amazing it was. And I had this killer video where I'm in there getting this like brutal demo. It's like I'm kind of cringing, and it's like pretty girl was like walking by and it like blows her hair a little bit while she stops and just sticks her head in the window for a moment and then like turns and keeps going. And I was like, that was fucking cool. like when does that happen? I'm like, that was fucking awesome for my video.
The truck is a hoot, and it's especially fun whenever like Steven or Nick or me are giving demos, because we're going to break it. We know how to fix it. We can afford to fix it. Just do it. It'd be all right.
Yep.
It'd be fine. And then Nick drove it there that year, so he was all about it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I got one friend or teammate in particular that will like never turn it up ever. And
to me, we are going to test your stereo. I got some news for you, Bob.
Like, look, you have all this power. You have plenty of bank. You have subs that could take it. Like, please let me see how loud this thing will get. It's just never just never quite turn it up all the way. It's like, oh, whatever. I mean, I don't get it, but it's his own. He doesn't want to break anything, so okay.
Let me see. Let me go back through some of these comments.
How do you know the limit if you don't break stuff? You know
exactly, because you won't ever know the limit. Are you talking about the W7 guys? Yeah, JL. Samology was nice this year. It wasn't like the year before.
Yeah, Slam was nice this year.
Every year.
Yeah, Slam was nice.
I
that was
like
that's the best year as far as weather that I've been there was this year.
Yeah, last year was
scraping
the worst,
was boiling hot, dude. It was bad.
We should have perfect weather for SEMA and the Showdown.
I was looking at the weather for Reno for next weekend.
Is it good? I didn't check yet.
I didn't check that, but I know that
90.
the weather for this week and next week in SAC is about as awful as it can be. I'll apologize in advance. True.
I have 90 for Saturday for the show.
It was 112 today with like a 25 or 30% humidity, which is hot for us. It was hot today, dude.
That's a really rough one.
Let's check Sacramento weather for next week.
Okay. But definitely going to have to.
Okay. I'm showing up on the day it starts cooling down.
So this must be Galen, I'm guessing, because me and him have this joke. You know that commercial that came out a long time ago with the squirrels? It was always scream Allen at each other.
Yeah, that's Galen.
That's Galen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why if it does that. Why it should show some of the Facebook people's.
It depends. So if they're watching, if they click the link and they watch the video in a group, it won't show their name because that's what Jeffrey was doing. He was in the shitting on them group, and
so you have to watch it from
Facebook user. So I sent him a link directly to the Quietly Loud page, and then his name showed up.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so anybody who's coming up Facebook user, if you want your name to show up, go to our Facebook page and
the actual page
through there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and not if you want to go do that shit. If you're gonna comment, go click the right fucking link so we know who the fuck you are. Like, follow directions. Do what we just told you to do. Facebook user, blah blah blah. You want to participate in our show? You're gonna need to do that shit right. Who is that? That's Adrian Hernandez. Adrian. Go click the right link. Yeah, that's who said the Surf is bad at show. He is absolutely right. Surf is a good show. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Showdown is bigger as far as car audio cars. But, Surf has the car show attached to it as well as the lowrider portion, which is something like think we should do in the future, maybe attach some sort of car show to the Showdown too and grow that part. But
you know what, man, I'm a big fan of the lowrider fucking hopping competition. Like, it's just fucking violence. They're just breaking shit. They're just like, it'd be like us as sound competitors pulling into the middle of a crowd and then just cranking up our beat until our amps and subs just smoked and blew to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be down to try to get somebody out there to bring a hot.
They're full, so there's there's metals breaking and shit's flying. You're like, dude. Like,
did you get a chance to go up there and watch it this year?
Into that car, you're like, oh my god, it's a '64 Impala. You're like, oh dude, and they're just destroying them. I'm like, I don't know why I'm a fan of that kind of like fuck itness, but I dig it,
dude. Because they're jumping a freaking 2,000-pound front end or whatever those cars weigh. It's ridiculous. Did you watch it this year when they did it?
I watched it a little bit. I ran up there and they were like almost done, and I was like in the middle of shit, and
I always miss it.
Waiting for demos, and I was trying to go home, and
But I did kind of earlier that you were able to. What show was it? The finals where you were pulling people off after they were done drag racing. They were coming to see the cars. So this year at the Showdown, I think I told you, but we're gonna have not us, but there's an AMA sanctioned supercross or motocross race Saturday and Sunday right across the highway from us. So the race is usually done by like 2 p.m. or so. So I'd imagine we're gonna have a lot of these people and kids coming over that have never seen car audio before. So
Should make it a rule. Be like, hey, if some guy walks up and you've never seen him before and says, hey, can I like listen to your stereo? You're not allowed to tell him no. You throw him in the truck.
Yeah, you have to play it. I don't care how many subs you have left.
Bitch.
Yep. Or you're gonna get kicked out of the show.
Or you're getting fucking booted.
If you told someone
you
no, you're leaving.
You got 10 dBs docked from whatever your shit ass score is anyway. Good job. You got a fucking 21, loser.
Yeah, that's why I had Maggie and Nick demo the Tahoe for me at Slam. They weren't telling anybody no. Get in, they'll play it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, at Slam, you had sparks flying out of the motor, and I filmed it and I posted it. And then like 3 hours later, I'm walking by and there's still sparks still flying out of the same motor. I'm always still got sparks coming out of that fucking motor. And I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, all right. Well, so at the show, my spare sub was it was blown technically, but I had the recone and the GTS guys reconed it at the show for me.
That's rad.
So I had a spare ready to go.
Hey,
and
we
I
got
had
Jose Ramos watching us in here. What's up, kid?
I didn't see Jose this year at Surf, man. I was kind of disappointed.
It's a hell of a trek, man, to come from the Bay Area all the way up to Surf. But Jose is a competitor. There. He's been doing some judging, helping out Ray Pimley and stuff, I guess, which is pretty awesome. He's good for the community, man. Jose is great.
Yeah, I think Ray did a really good job this weekend in the lanes. There was one moment where Hammy and I were sitting in our booth, and Hammy's like, who is that on the mic? He's like super strong with his words, and he's telling people what to do. And I've never heard. He's like the best judge I've ever heard. I was like, that's Ray, dude. He's like, oh, no wonder why. He's like, so yeah, Ray was kicking ass this weekend. I guess there's a couple guys giving him shit too. That one dude that always gives everybody shit. I think he's Canadian. He's got that little tiny car. I don't know who it is. You know what I'm talking about? The little Yugo. No.
What?
No, because I remember I heard Ray yelling, not really yelling, but aggressively talking to somebody on the microphone, and it was that little
aggressively talking to somebody on a microphone. You're like,
yeah,
like, but motherfucker, get out your car
of the
in the right.
Apparently, the dude's name is Lucas Paddle.
Okay.
So
look
at
all these people fucking chiming in. Well, yeah, I try to stay out of that shit. I mean,
now look what you did.
Lucas Paddle.
You thought there was drama at Surf over the fucking award. Now you're fucked up, Steve. No,
I guess I did. Shit, I didn't know there's that much drama. I just one ear out the other for most of that shit for me, man.
Steve is cringe as fuck right now. It's funny. I love it.
Oh, man. You go what? Yeah, it's a panda. Okay, yeah, it's a panda.
Jose said there's no human Olympics this year.
Okay, I like it. But I like that Ray takes charge and he's aggressive with the microphone. Like you're the boss. You're the judge. You know, you should. You know,
I get the feeling from Ray that there's been a couple of moments that were real pivotal for him of like, where he was kind of like being kind of nice and kind of trying to be really gentle and lenient with the people in the community, and then he kind of got a little bit like I was about to like snap for real, and then he kind of got like, listen, you guys are gonna do this shit the way I fucking tell you, or I'm gonna tell you guys all to go fuck yourself. And everybody's like, oh, we love you, you're the best. And he was like, cool, don't fucking piss me off then. And everybody's like, we're gonna do a good job at your shows, Ray. And and it seems like that's the vibe. Ray is a hard working dude. He is like obsessive and he wants
but he's super
to be really
fair.
Good. And he's a great guy. I absolutely love Ray Pimley. He's one of my favorite people in the community, and
good people.
He is brilliant, and he works super hard, and he's very patient, and he's super kind with people. He is never a dick. I mean, everybody has their moments online when they're like, you should have done that differently. It's going to sound like shit that way. I mean, you know what I mean? Like we've all done that shit.
Right.
But, you know, especially when they were, you know, when you're young and you're in fucking high school or college or something, you know what I mean? But Ray, he's a super duper nice guy. And, I'm glad he's a judge. There's been, some moments with some of the situations with the judging, and some people just get worn out of the same few guys,
Well, I think like people like Ray and Chemo and Travis, when they're the judge, you know that there's no bias at all. It's not existent for those guys. They're just there to do their job and do it correctly, and so that everybody has a fair chance. And they don't. They're like I said. I think the bias part is the biggest thing. They're just not playing favorites with anybody.
Yeah,
just huge.
Like you, Steve. Like you.
For sure. 100%. That's why I don't judge.
I'm back to Slam. I'm fucking around. Sorry. I got two beers in me. I'm all fucked up. I'm getting weird.
Only my friends win my awards. You didn't know this?
That's right. I was going to make an award for for next week at the barbecue and then give it to myself.
Best build of the week.
Best build ever, bitch. Look at that shit. I fucking
Most
win.
CNC woodwork.
It's an empty beer can with a Sharpie on it. You win the fucking Bobby Gately Championship.
Oh, speaking of CNC, we're going to make something while I'm there.
Yeah, we're going to build a box for Jim Skaggs.
Oh, are we?
Are you going to have
that box you designed for him. He hit me up and wants us to build that for some kickers.
Yeah, yep. No, I need a base made basically for that microphone array. I want to do a fancy one out of wood or acrylic or something. I don't know, something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I got some super cool ideas on how to laminate aluminum to acrylic. Any of you guys know how to do that shit? I'm gonna try using some.
No one knows how to do that.
What are you talking about?
Are you talking about welding plastic to metal, bro?
Who are you talking to right now?
Yeah,
he's talking to future Bobby.
He's like,
do this.
Well, I wanted to. I put this question up there because I did talk to the kicker guys this weekend at Surf. Had dinner with them. And I can talk about some stuff. The L7X12s are going to be available Christmas time, kind of, I think, at the latest. It looks like late November, early December, a little later for everything else. But one other thing that they said I could totally talk about, and they said that they have mentioned, but I haven't seen a whole lot of people talking about it, is their mids and highs that are coming out.
Yeah, apparently that leaked and just no one noticed it.
No one noticed it. So.
In a Facebook group.
They leaked it on purpose and nobody cared. What the fuck?
No, I don't know. Like I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah.
When we were at dinner, I asked Aaron. I was like, "Hey, so what's up with the mids and highs, the pro audio stuff?" Like he's like, "Oh, those are coming like before anything. They're on the water. They're going to be available in like a month." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? How come nobody knows about them?" He's like, "Oh no, we leaked them, whatever." And I must have missed it, but anyways. For those of you watching, there's a 7 and a 9-inch square mid-bass pro audio coming out from Kicker. And I've heard them. They're super loud. And they also have 2 different tweeters coming, pro audio stuff. So
all the people round and square mounts.
Round and square mounts, yes. So if you're looking to build some crazy big doors,
and you can just do like mid just stacked, but whole walls of cone area moving.
Yeah, so that's cool. The plan on my doors.
You could do like a really fucking super badass, like Tetris themed fucking Kicker square build, like door would be wild as fuck.
It would be.
You totally could.
Yeah, those are coming too. Base so it stays put. I mean, if we make it out of acrylic or nice wood, it's gonna be heavy anyway. The microphone array is super light. It's not heavy at all. My boy. So Dylan,
plywood is actually lighter than you think, Drew.
Well, then I guess we got to do acrylic. Sounds good.
To make it heavy, make nice, big, heavy ass doors.
So that Dylan Lamont guy, me and him have been friends for, well, I'm 30, so I would have been 14 or 15, or 16 years. He had 2 he's one of the guys that got me into car audio originally, before even getting live, before I could drive. Like that long.
Yeah.
That's a good dude. He's a real good dude.
Heck yes.
Yeah, he had 2 of the CVX 12s behind the seat of his single cab Chevy. We had the Hyphonics Brutus 3K on it, and we kept blowing subs up, and we just thought because the amp was so strong.
But
that was not
why.
live
and learn. That was not why.
The volume knob was all the way up, bro.
And speaking of that, you had a conversation with somebody online this last week about
as long as the clip light ain't blinking, you ain't clipping, right? Your signal's clean, right?
Yeah, he said that.
Can I bring this post up? Can I
wait?
Can I share something?
To preface this shit, this guy is a professional amplifier repair technician.
Yep.
Yeah. Do not get your amps repaired by this man, people.
He's a professional. This isn't the first time me and this dude have gone back and forth about amp stuff, and I'll admit before I even talk about it, I don't know that much about amplifiers. I know I don't, but I know that you can send distorted signal in and get distorted signal. I know that,
and not have a clip light blinking.
And not have a clip light.
Yeah. Yes. Because the amplifier's not distorting the signal that's going in. Yeah.
Yep, no, exactly. So it's just amplifying the already distorted signal that it thinks isn't distorted.
That's right.
But I can't remember what. Oh, it was the last time me and him went back and forth. It was what was it? Oh, I said Terra amps sound like shit or something like that. Like they don't have any control over the cones, and he's like, "Yeah, they do." I'm like, "Okay."
I mean, they do, just not nearly as much as
just not enough.
Amplifier.
And so this was. I can't remember what the post started with, but it was just some guy who was talking about DD1 or something, and I was like, I told my little story about DD1, and the guy and Sam said that, well, you can see the very top comment.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see the whole thing. I mean, it's right there. And he says there's no harmonic distortion. I'm like, what do you mean there's no harmonic distortion? What?
What the fuck, dude? No.
Oh man.
No.
I just I don't know really what to say.
For one, he said there's no harmonic distortion. Clipping is a form of harmonic distortion. So for him to say that
it's not the only.
It's just a form of it. So for him to say there is none is already just completely wrong because clipping is a form of it.
Take your super high-end badass head unit, your fucking Halo. Turn your volume nice and low to 14. And then play some fucking YouTube music and see what the signal looks like. I bet you see some fucking harmonic distortion and your volume is down low and your gain is down on your amp and your shit's not even loud and you got hot subwoofers.
Yep, exactly.
For real. Shit'll happen. That's your lesson for all you people here.
What's the story about the DD1? Oh, so for the first 2 years of having the Tahoe had a sub overheating issue, it was pretty bad. I could go maybe a song or two at most, and it'd be just 250, 300 degrees. 4 O scopes, 3 users over 2 years. They all said clean. 40 out of 40 on the radio, nothing. And one of them was a very expensive scope and a very experienced user, nothing.
Yeah.
I get a DD1 out on trade. I'm like, you know what? Let me just try it. Let me just see.
Yeah, it ain't going to make my subs heat up more.
And
if it tells me to turn the gain up more, I'm not going to trust it, right?
Yeah, so I hook it up, and I get full distortion, 39 out of 40. I was like, oh, that's early. So I reset everything to 38, and anyone at Slam will tell you that truck didn't turn off Saturday. It just didn't. Played all day, over a 60 the entire day. So it made a big difference. It was great. So I just told that story a couple of times, and people saying oh, blah blah blah. That's not happening. Like, okay.
I don't think anything will kill a sub or speaker faster than a clip signal.
Oh well, he said he also said in that thread that clipping doesn't hurt speakers.
Square wave out of the amplifier.
A clip signal at low volume versus clean signal at double RMS power.
Yep.
Is
yeah.
worse.
I mean, if you watch a sub or speaker driven into hard clipping, you can see it stop for a second at the top and bottom of the wave because it's holding.
Yeah.
But no, harmonic distortion isn't real. Amps can't clip. You're good to go. He even said in that thread, as long as the clip light is not on, you're good. You're good. no problems.
He is he a big tear amps or whatever you say? Is he
I don't know.
one of those boys?
I've
It makes
watched-
sense if you like tear amps. I
Hey,
mean,
you
who
know what?
cares
Some
about
people can
the
say
Hallmark
that they're a
Distortion?
professional amp repair guy all fucking day long. But if you're like, I've never met anybody that had an amp repaired by them, I'm not going to believe that they're a real.
No, I mean, he seems super smart enough. First couple of videos I watched on his because he has a YouTube channel.
He has a pretty big following, if I believe, right?
Yeah, and
on YouTube. Yeah.
But to say that an amp there is no harmonic distortion is wrong because that's obvious. It's just that it's impossible. And then to say that Tony DeMore is wrong about electrical engineering, bro, just go sit down somewhere. Go. It's like trying to tell Bobby how to work with Plexi or whatever it is, Lexington.
Or tell me that my amplifiers are going to overheat in my amp rack.
Yeah, or
that's something I got all like, dude. In the last week and a half, there's like a half a dozen. One was my homie, and he like asked, like, he's like, "What are you doing to cool that?" And I'm like, well, when it's all closed up, we have, 2 fans that'll push cold air in. And he's like, perfect. But there's probably 4 or 5 other guys that are like, oh, that's gonna overheat, and you're gonna have problems, and it's gonna be.
Let it overheat,
like,
be all right.
I'm like, if I'm not fucking clipping and I'm holding voltage, I'm gonna be okay. And if I see the amplifiers get real hot, I will turn it down.
I think you'll be all right. I had my amps stacked all on top of each other like that.
Right.
No,
they're perfectly fucking fine. It's
got
crazy
hella hot
with it all closed up, all the way closed up, and the fans not operational because we didn't fucking make them work yet. The amps were like getting pretty warm, and then they just stopped getting hotter, and then they were fine. And I was like, they're okay. They're chilling at 130 fucking Fahrenheit. I don't mind my amps being at 130 Fahrenheit. As long as I don't like leave a piece of flesh on the fucking amplifier, I think it's going to be okay. So, but then Saturday,
and that amp rack actually probably helps a little too. Like maybe works as a little bit of a heat sink.
Saturday, Sunday, and I know I'm fucking cheating because it was 75 degrees and there was a little tiny breeze blowing. But with the backflip is what the little cover assembly is called, opened up so everybody could see the subs move under the acrylic and all that shit. The amps never got over 100 degrees. Like fucking cool.
Dude, my amps turn on at 100 degrees. I'm just like, that's what.
Yeah,
and we were feeding right now,
and I was voltage dropping the fuck every time there was a pretty girl in there, and I was like trying to be like, I'm gonna go until the song lets her hair down. But I found like 5 Rustical songs that would just send like this signal. Like if it was a change of tone, it didn't even have a blip between it, and it would never let their hair down. It just
that's perfect.
And I'm like, this is fucking rad. I'm gonna wait until, and then I'm like, I got red lights on my fucking SMD my voltmeter. I'm like, I'm fine. And I did that shit a dozen fucking times. And it was like, I'm like, we need a little more battery in this thing. And Steve confirmed it. He came walking over. He's like, you're gonna need a little more battery. I was like, you're fucking right. And
that's a lot.
But still, and like the guy Jim was like, and Jim reads the Facebook shit. He was like, you really think we're gonna have a heat issue? Because I almost talked him into doing different amps because I didn't know how the shit I was gonna fit all those amps in that spot. And so it ended up being that amp rack, which was a long day of design to figure it out. And we're all super happy that we did that. But I tried to talk him into switching amps, and I'm glad I didn't because it's amazing as it is. And everybody loves the amp rack except for a couple of guys that they probably love it too because they gave them something that they thought they could say something online. Oh, it's gonna have a heat issue, and I'm like,
it's way better this way. You like a lot less wire too.
Yeah.
Like we had, with the wire laying on the box and stuff before. It looks.
Here's something
better.
I'm going to tell you is that it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter the amps or anything else. I've never had anybody comment a fucking negative thing online that's ever built anything that anybody ever gave the slightest bit of a fuck about. Not once ever. Yeah, and I don't give a fuck about their opinion. So like dude, if I build something kind of funny, if I built something kind of funny and I posted a picture of it, and either you two or Steve Mead or John Nolte or fuck man, I can think of 24 of my buddies that are in this industry that know their shit. They all have my personal number. You'd be like, my phone would be ringing. Hey, you built that shit and it looks a little fucky and you might really want to change that shit. I'd be like, really? Let me figure that shit out a little bit. I'd be like, exactly. let me on that. Yeah. But if fucking Ken from Facebook is like, you should take 6 of those amps out and you should stack them underneath and he's like telling Steve this and he's like, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna call Bobby and wake him up and tell him that Ken from Facebook said he needed to change this fucking amp rack that he designed all day long. That's right. I'm pretty sure Bobby's not worried about whatever the fuck you got to say, Ken. You can go fuck yourself. And the dude got all mad and went and made a post on fucking Facebook and was mad at Steve and blocked Steve and all this fucking shit. It was hella bad. And I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. If I ain't clipping I don't have significant voltage drop, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be okay. I'm not asking a lot of those amplifiers. That's why we ran those. I got 4,000 watt woofers. I got 4,500 watt amplifiers that make over 5K easy.
Yeah, you'll be good to go. So I'm going to go back to some of these comments real quick. It says, never seen an amp with 0.00 total harmonic distortion. Yep, because it doesn't exist. The Gately box made my Terror amps blow. Damn. Can you guys explain clipping if voltage drops below where you're tuned at? So if your voltage drops below where you're, like, say you tuned your amp at 14.4 and you drop to 14, unless you are maxing the amp out at 14.4, you still shouldn't be clipping at 14. You should still have headroom above the rails voltage wise. So you should be fine unless you're just at the limit of the amplifier. Then there's just nothing you can kind of do about it. Turn it down, get a bigger amp.
Let me ask you, when you guys are setting your gains in a big system, are you doing it loaded or unloaded?
Unloaded, yeah. I'm not. Well, so like with the Duncan's truck, the Tahoe, the van, then how the nitro's going to be, we have so much power that we just go to a known safe point, like a known clean point, and just go like 10% down and set it there because we're never going to reach the full power of the amplifiers playing music, so it kind of doesn't matter.
I gotcha.
Because Duncan's not ever going to use full power in the van. He's not going to use 12 6Ks worth of power on 3-inch coils on music for very long.
So let me see. Can you guys explain clipping if voltage drops below where you're tuned at?
Yeah.
So I mean, the amp's going to just draw more current. It's going to draw more amperage to produce the same amount of power. So I don't necessarily know if does it make the signal or does it clip if you go like, let's say you set your gains at 14 and full tilt you're dropping to 12.
I don't know what the tune frequency has to do with it. Yeah, I bet Drew.
Yeah,
like Jose.
He means voltage. So like you set everything at 14.4 and you drop to like 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get a little
does that actually?
And I'm like, what? Sorry, my bad.
Is that actually? I mean,
so it could have an effect. Like I was saying, that he would have to be right at the rail limits when it happens. But what's more than likely happening is you're going into clipping that is causing a massive current draw, causing the drop.
The voltage drop. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. That's like some people, you'll keep turning it up and you'll notice it's not getting any louder for the people out there watching that might be kind of new to this. That's when you're getting into clipping and you'll see your voltage dropping and you keep turning it up, but nothing's getting louder bass wise. Mm-hmm. You're just all you're doing is clipping at that point. Yep. So don't go there.
Jeffrey said a professional only means someone who's been paid the money to do a service. Does not mean their skill level.
Doesn't mean they're actually good at it. That's right.
Yeah, I know a bunch of professionals who don't know shit.
Yeah, there's like a whole group on Facebook of guys that build sub box that are like, we're pros. So there's that. A guy named Bubba said, "Is the Tahoe bloodbath or another ride altogether?" I don't. So if Drew's talking about a Tahoe, Drew is talking about his Tahoe.
Mine, yeah.
If I say the bloodbath, I'm talking about another Tahoe that I did a build on for Sinister Car Audio out of Houston, Texas.
They are different. Question about DD1 and SFB. I know full bridge amps are weird about the DD1, so I don't know. Ask Steve, not Steve. Ask Tony.
Badass.
email Jamore Engineering. Tech support. Oh, so speaking of, you were talking about Ken from Facebook. Telling you need to change your amps. That was something that. So I used to not like Steve that much because of how he kind of would be not mean to people, but like, I don't need you to tell me what to do. And I didn't get it.
But I was just giving constructive criticism.
Now I get
Nobody fucking asked you, motherfucker.
Exactly. And I was I was one of those guys. So, but I get it now that I have to deal with it myself. I get it.
Now you fucking get it.
I get it. It's like, bro, like we'll do something with the Tahoe or the Nitro. They'll try to tell someone will comment something stupid. I'm like, bro, I don't care.
I prefer that in these truck boxes I put a side loaded port. I get that shit all the fucking. I'm like,
I don't want to hear port noise.
Nobody asked you what you wanted. You're a fucking loser. Who the fuck cares what you have to say?
Build one. Do your own.
You go ahead and do it your way. I'll go ahead and do it the way that I found is the fucking right way. Thanks.
I can share for harmonic distortion music. Yes. Well, that's more of a question for like Chris Russ. He knows a lot more about the actual source file of it. The harmonic distortion I was more referring to was like in the Tahoe. It started in the radio. The radio was freaking out, causing issues. So
yeah.
No, you'd have to find like an actual like sound engineer to ask about the songs themselves.
Yeah, you definitely.
Sometimes you just you do proper research. You ask people that you know that you can trust. If I said, "Hey, I keep on finding that I'm getting fucking music that doesn't play consistently awesome on whatever format I'm using," which I don't have that fucking problem. But if I was like, "Drew, help me out, buddy," and you went, "Oh, if you use this music source, you're consistently going to be good to go."
Yeah, like
there's a
big difference between.
But I wouldn't go on fucking Facebook and ask Ken.
Yeah.
I mean, but so you find trusted music and you run with it, you know.
Yeah. Well, to go off what you were saying, Drew, about finding the distortion in your equipment, that's like one thing people I think don't do is when they set their gains, they're just setting their gains. Like you kind of have to start at the very beginning. You got to start your head units first, find out where it's clean, set it clean, then go back, then go to the amps, set your amps according to where your head units.
And what's crazy is like that's what my DD1 story kind of shows. That I said four scopes, three scopes, 4 users, 4 scopes, 3 users. Sorry, because we tried 2 scopes in one day, but the scopes stayed clean. 100%. They did not show anything funky in the signal because it wasn't in this. It was in the signal, but it was in a way that a single channel, even dual channel scope can't see without being able to access the source file. Basically, from what I was briefly explained by Tony, he told me, and it was went. I'm like, okay, music dirty. Got it.
Tony's coming from a car audio background. I know he's an audio engineer, but he's one of us, so his tools are for us. Like I would.
Bobby in his chat. No one asked you, motherfucker.
No, but I was just giving you constructive. That's my point. That's the point. Look, I don't run around giving anybody unsolicited fucking advice. Right? I don't go on somebody else's fucking page or their picture on Instagram or on their fucking group. If I did, I'd look a raging fucking asshole. If somebody asks, if everybody's like, "What's your favorite thing to build boxes out of?" And I'm like, "I really like using Baltic birch plywood." And then my real super duper favorite is acrylic. And I think it'd be really bitching to machine a box out of billet. By the way, that's coming fucking soon. But I wouldn't build. I would never ever recommend building a box in any of the bullshit that you get from Home Depot. And I know that these guys throw a fucking big ass fit when I say that. I'm like, look, you fucking asked me. You asked me, you motherfucker. You were like, what would you? And I'm like, you shouldn't build boxes out of that shit you get at fucking Home Depot. Guys are like, I don't know why I'm fucking down 2 dBs. I built this shit. And I'm like, dude, you're pine fucking box bullshit. And they got Pine Box Mafias glued on their fucking stickers on their truck. And I'm like, your shit is delaminating. It's like, this isn't real. Like you fucked up a long time ago, bro. You go back, pull that shit back.
Anytime you could just stick a screw in the side of the layers and just like dig a hole in it, Like, it's not good plywood. You should not use that stuff.
Let me grab a couple.
But the guys, they get up in arms. They don't want to do any fucking research. They don't want to call a lumber supply place. They don't want to pick up. They don't want to be like,
dude,
hey,
there's
Siri,
a lumber.
Where can I buy worth of fuck lumber where I'm at right now? And like the shit'll come up, man. Do that shit. You know, I get.
And a lot of the times it's even cheaper than Home Depot too, and you're getting better stuff. It's yeah.
I got Siri's talking to me over here. It's like I don't know how to respond to that.
I would need to find lumber.
Yeah,
you have it in your storage, dickhead.
Yeah.
Loaded versus unloaded means that there's subs hooked up to the amps or not. So unloaded, there's no subs. Like why? Like we unhook the speakers from the amp, basically. Unloaded is no subs. Loaded is with the subs hooked up. We tune.
So
a lot of us tune
both.
Unloaded because it's fucking loud. to turn that shit up that loud.
You're like, first. I'm tuning my shit. It's like, you're like the fucking voltmeters flying around in your hand. You're like, this is great. This is great. Yeah, no.
Well, with the kickers, it was easy because it was like literally tuning one amp, you know. But
you won't. With this new build, I can basically promise you won't do it loaded like at volume.
Well, I usually set everything unloaded first, and then do a series of burps, full tilt.
Just checking
after that, just gotcha. But yeah, I don't know. I may just go wide open on everything, and this build just literally just go by the knob. I mean, it is what it is.
Let's start some shit. What do you think about Robot Underground, Patrick Chandler?
What?
Who?
Someone said, let's start some shit. What do you think about Robot Underground, Patrick?
I don't know who that is, so that's.
I don't either. I have no idea what anybody's talking about.
Patrick Chandler owns a company called Robot Underground. Talk shit about Steve a lot and a bunch of other people. And
well, look, you know what? There's a lot of bitch ass people in the world. And...
Patrick is extra bitch ass because he's an admitted pedophile. I have the screenshot. So,
bro, what the fuck? Why do people?
Yeah, it's not even remotely of a joke. Yeah, so, he's talking about like a 14-year-old or something, and he was like, "Bro, that's legal in most of the world. It's not good. It's not good."
Yeah, bro, fuck that dude.
Agreed. Nobody likes him. It's like him and a couple of other people. Let's keep scrolling.
Yeah. So
I never heard of the dude.
So my point is, like, there's a lot of bitch ass people, and there's a lot of people that get real fucking sour, and they're like, I was just telling Steve that I bought fucking clip speakers that were almost the same, and I didn't like them as much as my other speakers. And Steve was like, you probably hooked him up wrong. You're a fucking loser, and moved on. And this dude's like, man, they make like a whole Facebook group wrapped around like, I hate fucking Steve Mead. And there's like fucking 45 guys in it, and they're all, he was mean to me 4 years ago. Steve's like, I don't even know who any of these fucking losers are. Like, I didn't know what their fucking screen name was when I told them to fuck off in the first place.
Nope.
And
I get that sometimes. They're like, oh, you were mean to me 3 years ago. I'm like, oh, well, did you say something stupid?
Like, oh, I bet my fucking life you said some punk ass loser shit.
Someone on Reddit, so just a username. I don't know his actual name. He said that he's like, I don't like you on Facebook. You blah blah blah. You make posts about me, and like, I made a post about you. Like, if I made a post about you, you are an actual garbage person. So I don't care anymore.
You would probably know who he was at that point.
And still no clue.
Yeah. Like,
how do you tune a 5-gallon bucket to 40 hertz? You put a 12 right on the front because it fits perfectly, and use an air port out the back. And you do a 50 with that in a CRX. I've synced it. Yeah. That's what Taylor did.
I believe it.
Ooh, someone's asking about your box, Bobby. El Fuego.
Excuse me.
I'm looking at your 4.75 cubic foot single 15 that has a 14 1/4 cutout. My sub is a 13 7/8 cutout. So he has a sundown sub. That's got to be a sundown sub.
Well,
is he frozen or is he reading?
It's not gonna. Oh, he must be frozen. Bobby, refresh your shit. Well, if the sub is a 13 7/8, there ain't no way that's gonna work. Because
reach out to Bobby, and he may be able to help you out with that. He may be able to make you one with smaller cutout. Someone said, "What's up, Drew? Yeah. Miss you, big guy. I can't see your name, unfortunately. Hi. What's up?"
What's high?
I was just reading that one. The DD1 will show clipping before cheap O-scope. The DD1 will show distortion before an expensive O-scope.
We had the DD1 and Carlos's dual scope on the same time. They exactly the same time. They lit up.
I tuned an amp today that the clip light came on the amp before the DD1 Plus. I was like, I'm gonna go with the DD1 Plus on this one. Sorry, amp. Hope you're not clipping.
I think Bobby's messaging.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But yeah.
Drew, I think Bobby and Steve would approve the 7-inch thick enclosure going in Dan Merritt's old car. Yeah, probably.
What is that? 7-inch thick enclosure?
7-inch thick enclosure. Yeah, the entire enclosure 7 inches thick.
Why?
Sound quality.
But you couldn't do it with like 4, 3,
nope.
2.
It's got to be 7. I don't know why. But
7.
No, that way there's no resonance. It's impossible, and then it's fully decoupled from the vehicle. So, no, the car he's talking about is has $40,000 in amps.
What?
It's 3 amps. 3 amps. 3.
I think I know possibly what amps you're talking about.
Audio Wave.
Maybe whose car is this going in?
Dan Merritt.
No,
it's a red Challenger.
This SQ shit, dude. Who's Dan Merritt?
So Dan Merritt is actually an OG SPL guy from like back in the Alma Gates days and like early kicker competition group. Like he's been around a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, super cool dude.
Yeah, I'm terrible with names, man. I'll tell you, over the last like so many years of being in the industry and meeting 1,000 people a year.
There he is.
It's hard to keep track. I don't know. You got to put your headphones on.
Shit.
There he is.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good. Oh, you're on your phone.
Good.
Perfect.
I don't know what the fuck happened. My computer was like, hey, by the way, fuck you. So here I am.
Well, anyway. So Matt G said to go with the amp clip light. Well, you can, but the way that the DD1 Plus sets overlap, you have to go to clipping on the DD1 Plus. You have to get into initial clipping to set it.
But Bobby, somebody was asking about one of your boxes.
Yeah, one of the guys asked about the 4.75. Yep. Looked like he was planning on probably using a Sundown because the
see.
I saw that briefly and I was like, oh shit, I got a question for me. I need to answer that shit. So we offer a custom cutout.
See, that's exactly what I said.
And it adds I think it's $85 to the price of the enclosure because it makes it a custom order. It's special. But yeah, that's how that works. We've had people do it where they ordered it and it arrived and they were like, shit, it doesn't quite fit right. And I was like, man, I'm not sure. And they were like, well, I get the speaker to cover all 8 holes, so I'm gonna put screws in. And I'm like, fuck. But
well, El Fuego.
Then I've had where I sent a customer a ring. So
El Fuego, if you want that box with that cutout, it won't cost you $85 more. I'll cover that for you, bro. El Fuego's in everyone's live stream supporting everybody. He's a good dude, so I'll take care of that, dude.
Right on, I'm in. We got this. Dude. So yeah, just shoot us an email, El Fuego, and
he's in everyone's live stream, always being nice. It's like everybody, Andy's, ours, kickers, you name it, he's in it. Like it has to be his full-time job.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so.
I'll send you some stickers too if you want some shit on.
I'll give him I'll give Bobby a rub-a-dub-dub next week to make up for it.
Heck yeah!
You are already my sex slave all week anyway.
Bring it on, Big Daddy.
I want to see some Baby Bird this weekend, Bobby. You and Drew. Yeah, we're
even if I'm
dude. I'm so excited. You're coming to the barbecue.
Just the same height as Drew anyway. I gotta get him on John's shoulders again.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see what we got going on. Important question: who plans are the best beard of the trio? Bro, hold on. No, it's not even. Hold on.
Let me. Beard? Yeah, mine's short because I need it to not be too long.
And now my light's not working. I can't turn it up more. There you go. Sorry, bud. I got a couple of gray though. What's up?
It's just black anyway. You need to wear like one of your gray shirts, man. You have the Baseaholic shirts in gray.
I know I do. I've thought about it. Oh, wait. I'm not using the... Oh, I could change it today. Boom! There we go.
You guys want to see some of these fails we got for the week?
Absolutely.
All right. This one.
Man,
was
I
sent in
apologize.
by-
My signal is shit right now.
You're fine. As long as you can see stuff, we can see
I don't know,
stuff.
man. You guys
you're on
sound
a
like
tiny
fucking
screen,
robots.
but
I might disappear for a second. I'm good.
Can you see that?
Yep, that's hot.
Let me tell you a story about something just like that. When I worked at LoJack, one of the other technicians did a screw like that into the positive lead on a brand new Jaguar, and I think this was like 2007 or so. And he fired the screw, and the primary positive lead right into the battery had a grounded like shielding on the outside. This guy put this screw in there, and it like fried the computer in this car, and it was like $17,000 of electronics damage in this Jaguar because this guy thought it was going to be okay. And they said shit like this to us when we were in training. They were like, okay, it's never okay to fire a tech screw into a 1-aught or a 4-gauge wire. Like, that's not a thing. You can't do that shit. It's not okay. But yeah.
Well, I mean, you can. But so that reminded me of the story here. When the brand new Tahoe came out, must have been 14, whenever they changed it, 13, 14 area, a shop got a hold of one, cut a wire that was the same color as the previous generation that wasn't a data wire, cut a data wire, deployed every airbag in the truck, and did like 15 grand worth of damage or 14 grand worth of damage to it. It had a temp tag on it.
Nice.
Tore it up. Man. Y'all keep doing new trucks.
See, that's some bullshit, though, because it's not like they fucking thought, you know what I mean? Like, that's some shit I would do.
Yeah. But so we were working on this 2021 GMC this week, and with how far, like integration has come, man, it's so easy. We didn't cut or splice a single wire in the truck. Not one. For nothing, for anything. We use the T harness to grab speaker wire signal from the amp, and there was an open spade on the fuse box with 4-switch power. So we didn't cut or tap into anything. Put a system in it.
Oh yeah.
And we're doing the same thing with a 2022 Tacoma this weekend when Nick is 5-channel amp, every door speaker, dash speaker, full subs, MTI box behind the back seat, all kind of nice stuff. We're not going to cut or splice a single wire, not one.
So this one, I think, Bobby, you sent me this one, right?
Yeah, these are ones that I just been stumbling across online, and I just grab them because, like, it's something we feature in our show. So I figure I should. And a lot of these are car audio fails. Some of them are not. But we got to make sure we give them credit every week. They got a great page, and it's really entertaining. But that's a stock speaker that they did that. So
that's impressive.
Yeah, I'm obviously it caught on fire. Obviously, yeah. I mean, something happened back there. Here's the speaker after being on fire.
Look, Brandon said, I'm building my first C-pillar fourth over my daily. Any helpful tips or pointers? Take your time, make it strong. Strength, that's all that matters.
Make it strong.
Use the right material to build the enclosure.
Yep, you could have the best design ever, and if you build it weak, it's going to suck. You could
even build it really, really well with garbage material and have it be garbage as fuck. Yep.
Yeah, make it strong. Brandon Moore in the chat.
Brandon Moore.
Yeah. Use good materials. Build it strong. Build it strong because you're using good materials.
And I would say pay $25 to $40 or whatever it costs to get a design from a reputable box designer like Drew Jones.
I'm about to send you my pricing. Martin. You were a little awful now.
Well, $75 to $10,000.
There you go. Say 75. No, you can't get one from me yet.
What, like a single 12 or something? Jesus.
No.
Box
trust me.
Designs have gone way through the roof since I've got one. So
kind of. I'm definitely, besides like PWK, I'm the most expensive, I think. But I can't. I had to.
What What do you charge for a box design now, Drew?
I started 80 at reported 94, 6, 100, and now there's a couple extra. Like if you have like 12 subs, it's going to cost you more money now. And every time me and Bobby have talked about my pricing many times, and he's told me to double it.
Even still, at $100, you're better off spending.
I mean, $100 that's not even a sheet of quality wood. Not even one sheet.
No. I'm just saying it may be the most important part to actually have a design that is correct. Yep. And then get good material.
Yep.
Make it strong. And then there's almost nothing else to it. A good design, a really strong enclosure. It's going to.
At that point,
don't get a fucking box design from a designer that doesn't build.
Yeah,
you definitely. I will never. I do my best to not.
Too many of those guys that are fucking clickety and they don't build a fucking thing. Do not trust them. Yeah. They're fucking wrong.
I try to not. People ask me all the time, oh, what do you think about this person's work? Or like they'll send me a design. What do you think about this? I'm like, oh well, that's not what I would do. Now that's about as far as I'll go because I don't want to, I don't want to be known for like talking shit on someone else's design to like, oh, he just said it was bad because he was trying to make a sale. So I just avoid it altogether. But I design the way I do because I build things and I test things and.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing I could say helps if you don't have a saw or handy with that kind of stuff. You just want to assemble it. Go to as many Home Depots as you can go. Well, I guess you don't want to use that wood. That's the problem.
So what I would do if I didn't have like access to like because like I don't build small enclosures even myself. I get them built by Seth locally or whatever, just because they do good work. It supports them. I would go to a cabinet shop and just be like, here, can you use your best quality birch and build this? Thank you.
Yeah, you might be able to find a cabinet shop with a CNC that's willing to just.
Most cabinet builders with a table saw, with a skill saw, could outcut me with a CNC.
Or you just find a enclosure company that will build you a custom order box,
like Gately Audio.
Yeah, and there's a few others that do some really nice work that I'm rooting for that use appropriate materials and.
Yeah, I'm just talking more for the guys that want to build the stuff themselves. They want to go get it designed. And what I was going to say about the Home Depot guys, like if you could go find an old timer that's working at Home Depot running the saw, dude, he's gonna make perfect cuts for you. But it's just out of crap wood now.
Yeah,
they didn't always have crap wood. They used to have decent.
They used to have pretty decent MDF, but that shit went away probably 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I've heard the stories of their quality wood. I didn't start messing with enclosures until 14 years ago.
Well, I'm super lucky.
We on purpose, check this shit out. We on purpose here buy the Home Depot MDF to use on our CNC router on the vacuum table because
it's so porous.
Because air pulls through it better.
Yep, that makes sense.
Well, what do you use it for?
So if you shave off like the very top and bottom layer,
my sheets of plywood stay on the table because of vacuum pressure. I have a vacuum connected to the table. My table is made of MDF that I get at Home Depot, and I can throw that shit on. That's what I fucking use, man.
Your vacuum sucks through the MDF. And
you have to shave off like the very top and bottom layer, and then
it'll run without doing that.
That's crazy.
Let me answer a few of these, and I have
high end,
bro.
The really
that's
high end
so bad.
MDF, yeah,
the really high end MDF that the cabinet shop would give us, we didn't get as good a vacuum pressure as when we would use the Home Depot shit. And I'll tell you, we had 5 sheets of the Home Depot. Or not, I'm sorry, of the high-end MDF on the vacuum table at the cabinet shop before it wouldn't suck a piece of paper flat on it.
Damn.
So 4 layers of 3/4 inch regular MDF. No trim the layer off. Like the guys are like, no, those layers are sealed and it bullshit. They're not fucking sealed. I watch it suck right through that shit. They're permeable by air. When guys are like, MDF sounds dead. I'm like, that's because it's a fucking aperiodic membrane. It's not fucking all the way sealed. It's not. You can glaze that shit with
Lowe's
resin.
is gonna have
You
the
got
same
what
wood.
you want.
I'll tell you that.
But yeah.
See,
Yeah, your best
Baba
just
said-
Google lumber yard near you, even if it's 40 or 100 miles away. It's worth going to get wood from there. It's
What
so
are your
much
thoughts
better.
on Joe Fox box? We installed one this week.
Some of
$212.
them are really, really good.
Yeah, Joe
is super.
I don't know anyone
smart,
who makes
man.
a better, unless Bobby makes one I'm not aware of. I don't know anyone who makes a better Dodge box for the trucks with the cubbies underneath the seats.
Well, his doesn't use a seat lift, and he has a couple 12s, and
They
I
do
believe
now.
it is
I
a
think he sells
box.
seat lifts for the Dodges. I think.
They definitely do. We make a box that uses a seat lift. I've heard his box, and he does 2 12s. We do 2 8s, and we actually do it as a downfire.
He does 12s now. Last time it's been a while since I've kept up with his boxes.
Pretty good. It's pretty
good. Used to be 10s.
It may have a higher peak, but it doesn't quite have the same kind of bandwidth as what we manufacture.
That sounds right. Yeah,
but it's not fucking fair to say, here's Joe's box that's like $600 and my box that's $1,600. That's not fair.
And he has that plastic mold machine from his last business that he uses to make those crazy plastic forms.
He is absolutely brilliant, and so many of his products are really, really, really good. And and there's no way for the money you can fucking beat most of the things he does. He's a smart dude, and he does some amazing.
He's like 2 hours from me. He's kind of localish. He's crazy, man. It's a crazy dude.
Yep, I've been on the phone with him a couple times, man. He's super smart. I learned a ton of shit from him just in quick phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you get a hold of me for designs? My Facebook or the business page, Baseaholic Productions, or email Drew@Baseaholic or Smoke Signal. You're gonna have to Smoke Signal in Arabic though, because that's only smoke signals I know.
Yes.
But yeah,
Arabic.
Baseaholic Productions, Facebook, easiest, best place. His Dodge boxes are beast with best of 10s. Yep, that's when I heard it was. I always had 10s in them. We did DB Drive K9 10s a bunch, and they did great. So Baba, you say his ports are always on the edges. The box we did this week was a 212s for 2021. It was actually a 2-piece box, and the ports were in the middle, firing back. It was weird. Jeffrey's never been in my house. He's lying. He's a liar. He's a liar. He makes me come to his house.
Well, shit, boys. I think we had a pretty good episode here. This was fun. What are you doing, Bobby? Are you leaving? You going home? You leaving us, bro?
No, I ain't leaving just yet, but I'll wander over here and kick these lights on this motherfucker right here.
Always showing shit off, dude.
Wealth. God, just flexing on the pores.
Hey, I was going to ask you.
I can build these motherfuckers, but I can't buy one, man.
Hey, when is that build actually going back to the owner?
Probably right after SEMA. Probably right after SEMA.
Okay.
This morning he told me he wanted me to build a custom grill because it doesn't glow enough.
That's what you're saying. Do it.
What's next?
Do you offer a military discount?
Hey,
do you have another big project
go on when you guys get done with this, jump on Steve Mead's page, and he's got a new YouTube video up about the Raiden truck. He was over here yesterday. We were filming some videos.
Well, I forgot he was super close to you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to make a point to be like, hey, bro, I'm in town. What's up? I'm pulling up.
He swings by sometimes. What
are you guys, like 15 minutes apart or so? Something like that?
Oh, no. Like if I were to leave my shop and go to Steve's shop, I'm there in like fucking less than 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, we will. Me and
I was there.
Me and Steve actually had on my drive to Kicker forever ago. We ended up texting back and forth for like 2 hours, like rapid fire about everything. So it'd be cool to, when I pull up this time, gonna get to go hang out with him.
For Sky High.
Is he gonna any chance when you see Steve this weekend or during the week, whatever? Ask him if he's gonna come to the barbecue. He usually comes for a day or two, maybe a day.
I still remember a video he shot from the barbecue. He got in someone's S10 or something with like 5 15s wall. I was like, God, it's a bunch of 15s in an S10.
I got my subs to smoke for him on my demo for Steve with my 415.
Someone asked if I do a military discount. So I don't discount the design itself, but I normally do give it priority, get it done quick, and then I usually send out some merch for it. And priority, getting it done quick is probably worth more to most people than a discount. With how long y'all can take sometimes.
As far as military discount for Gately Audio, every product we sell and service we provide, we have a 10% discount for all military, first responders, and veterans.
Nice.
In case anybody was wondering.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do the same for shitting on them as well.
I mean, like I said, I could do 10%, but that just doesn't make sense. I'd rather just give them something worth more than 10%. Get it done quick.
Yeah, put them to the front because you're usually a ways out on stuff.
Yep.
So yeah.
And I tell people, before they pay, I'm a way out. So is Steve really 4'10"? No, he's not. He's taller. He's taller than that. I've met him.
Oh.
I met him and Syph Morrison at CES like 2013 or something. That was super cool.
He's like
maybe he's not that short.
He's like
5'7",
5'6", 5'7". He's a little taller than me, right, Steve?
Yeah, he's like 5'7", 5'8", probably.
So Steve's like 5'6", and I'm like 5'5". So he's actually taller than me. But
not where it counts, though, right, Bobby?
Yeah, Steve got a big ass dick, man. Oh, I mean, yeah, no, I mean,
I was talking about you. I don't know.
No, I've never seen his dick. It's okay. No.
So we're both Northern Cali. Sacramento. They're in Sacramento. Yeah. I've been to Bobby Shop once. I saw some really cool stuff while I was there. You went to the cabinet shop. Oh, was it?
Building at the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Living loud, Andy said 5'9", never felt so good.
Yep. I shook the walls at Bobby's shop, and I ran my Explorer off of his Green Monster and some jumper cables.
Basic Holly decal.
That's right. We hooked that shit up with jumper. We had 2 sets of jumper cables, and they were still getting hot because the alts.
I don't even understand
my Gorilla
how that
batteries
shit
were at
works.
hella voltage.
BaseHolly.com.
Because you didn't have a key.
I left my keys in Oregon, but for some reason, my spare key would let me turn the car on. Well, what was it let me do? It wouldn't let me start the car, but it let me play the stereo without car on.
You could open the door and you could turn the stereo on because your stereo wasn't connected to the ignition.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all wilding out.
We just tried demoing off of battery power, and it was still.
And he did that. He did it for just a couple minutes, and then it was like over. And so I pulled the Green Monster over, and I shut down the audio system in the Green Monster. And we put a set of jumper cables on, and I was like, "That should be pretty good." And he started playing it, and I started smelling like
it's not good
plastic, and the jumper cables were getting toasty. And I'm talking about like a minute and 15 seconds, and it was kind of trying to charge his batteries back up off of my 3 Gorilla 30s and 2 400 amp alternators. It's just dumping energy through these pretty stout one set of jumps. We had another set in there, and they're all clamped, and they were all of them are hot. And I'm like, can we just wait until these aren't hot as fuck anymore? Can we get some charge in here? And Steve's like, hey man, I gotta get going.
I was lucky I was running the kicker amps because those fuckers would play down to 9 volts. 9.2.
So we had that all Rockford truck when I worked at the shop, and 4 AGM, 4 Excess Power D3100, single alternator. We would play until the radio turned off at 8 volts. And the amps are still going. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, dude. I would see 9 volts all
Let it ride, it's fine.
And I'd be like, amps say they could play at 9 volts, so whatever. It's just a flash. I mean.
Basic Holly decal at baseholly.com. Short asses. Yeah, they're short. Anyone under 6 foot is short. So, I mean, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, you're a giant.
Matt said he's 6'5".
I get hella tall if I fucking climb. If I climb Drew.
Boy, you climb me any
I'm hella tall when I'm sitting on John
That's going to happen
shoulders.
next weekend. Dude, we're going to get so rowdy next weekend. I'm excited.
No.
Holy shit.
You know what's crazy is I didn't drink a fucking drop at Surf And I was like, dude, I'm so glad I didn't drink. I kept saying it. And then, like, when we were driving home, I was like, I should have gotten fucked up on Saturday night or something.
Right?
Oh yeah. I remember the one.
Well, here, we'll save it for the barbecue because even Hammy like took it super easy. Like,
Brett told El Fuego
Hammy
to
will be at least one drunk night. But
yeah.
So
Brett told El Fuego just to order the box and put the notes in the comments about the cutout. No, do what Bobby said. Send an email. Do what Bobby said.
Yeah, listen to the man.
Is it true that if you have a battery bank in the back of your rig, you only need to run a main power wire big enough to handle your alternators? Yes. If you don't have any battery in the front, then the most current you can pull from the front is whatever your alternators can make. That's the limit.
Yeah, that's one thing that was almost a pet peeve of mine when people would be like, dude, I got 10 runs front to back. And I'm like,
give us a 300 amp alternator.
Why the fuck would you do that? It makes no sense. You got an alternator that can only put out 300 amps and you have 5,000 amps worth of wire. I just don't. It makes no sense.
I mean, if you had batteries up front, it makes sense, but you don't. I thought you were like 6'4". I'm 6'3". What's up? What's up? What if you have a battery in the front and battery bank in the back? Then yes, then you will need to run extra wire because you will be able to pull current from the battery. So just plan for like a whole extra run, basically.
Yeah, that's basically, I take whatever my alternator can do, and I basically give it half as much more. If it's 300 amps, I'll do 450 amps worth of
wire. Just so the wire isn't a possible restriction.
Yeah, just give it a big enough straw. I mean, that's all you need.
I figure one one-aught run per alternator that I have.
I do too.
Yeah, I mean, 1-aught's 300 amps at welding 1-aught is 300 amps. I mean, it's probably okay, but
yeah, I just do two just because I do two no matter what. If I have OFC, I do two. If I have CCA, I do two. Oh yeah, did you show my CCA?
I just run 2-aught. I run 2-aught for all my front to backs, and then 1-aught for the amps.
Did y'all see my CCA post from earlier this week?
Yeah, I did. You're gonna Kicker really has a thing about OFC versus. Haven't you seen their thing?
Mm-hmm. I've seen it.
You don't believe it?
No, it's accurate. It's true. If you reach the current carrying capacity of CCA, then obviously OFC will outperform it. Absolutely, that's the point.
True.
So,
yeah, you can get a little more out of OFC.
Yeah,
but like
if you're not within
John Raby, when every single install we've done for John Raby, every single one, he sends me all CCA wire for every one of them.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
It definitely works.
The Nitro's all CCA, and we can't use any less wire. Every amp has a single input, so it's got a single wire. I mean,
it's just like you said.
I could have easily done OFC. There's nothing stopping me.
The wire.
Yeah, as long as you stay within the rating, the current carrying capacity of the same with OFC, you have to stay within the current carrying capacity of that.
Or it's not going to work. Yeah, I mean, it's 100%.
Yeah, but so what gets me is people say use OFC, but they won't always use tinned OFC. Those use raw OFC. So raw OFC is copper on the outside, right? What is copper-clad aluminum on the outside?
Aluminum.
Copper.
The outside of CCA is... No, I thought it's...
No, the outside of copper-clad aluminum is copper because it's copper-clad.
That's aluminum copper outside, yeah.
OFC that is not tinned will corrode at the same rate as regular CCA if they're both terminated improperly.
Oh, copper will corrode really fast if it's not.
I know, that's what gets me. Like, OFC doesn't corrode. Well, I see.
Bullshit. That's the whole tinned OFC.
That's why tinned OFC started, because copper corrodes fast.
I mean, tinned OFC is, obviously marine rated. The only thing that is allowed to use marine. The only stuff I happen to use is because what I was given, but it's definitely, if you live in a climate that's humid at all, or you get a lot of rain, you definitely should be running.
If you doubt your install capabilities at all, get 10 copper, 100%.
I just spend the extra $15 or $20. I don't even know what it is extra.
It's actually a lot more than that. I didn't realize how big the gap had gotten until I made that post and someone said, for $60 extra you could have done OFC. I said, for one, it wasn't about the money. I could have got free wire if I wanted to. I didn't want to. I wanted to build it with CCA and do it this way for to prove a point. I looked at the pricing. It was like, I think a spool of CCA from Down for Sound was 120 for 0 gauge, 140. OFC was like 300.
But I mean, from OFC and OFC 10.
Oh, 10 to OFC to OFC. Oh, okay.
They're not a whole lot of difference, and you just spend
probably not
on 10 versus the other.
But
let's see, what's this? It's 2 runs for 9K good. Well, he got 600 amps, 12 volts.
Was it about like 2 watts? 2 should flow like 400 or 500 amps. 600. Well, it depends. Like, it's just about welding cable. Or you're talking about audio cable because they're different.
Well, 2-watt audio, 600 over 20 feet is the standard. Yeah. So depending on how long your runs are and all that stuff, I mean, I would go if they're short runs. You should be all right, but if they're,
I think
anything longer than 10 feet, I would probably.
The Nitro has a pair of 2-watt CCA runs front to back, and it's granted it only had a 370 amp alternator, so I guess it really didn't matter. So never mind.
What's up, Bobby? What are you doing out there?
He's just walking around.
What?
It looks nice outside.
Pacing around outside. It's nice out here now. It's only like 75, 80 degrees.
Must be nice, bro. It's dark outside. It's almost 10
feet. It's dark here too. How's it so bright out there?
Fuck, it really is. It really is fucking nice.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
We're
gonna do shirts. We're gonna do shirts pretty soon that say "Must be nice" on the front, and on the back it's gonna say "It really is."
It really is. That's it. I like that. Must be nice. It is. It really is.
Really is. It really
is.
Work
my ass off. It is nice.
It was. I don't know.
Nice.
5 or 6 weeks ago, it must have been right. The same day I made. I had a dealer reach out to me for a really special project for a very famous music artist that requested something very special that he had seen, and it was something that I built. And was like, can you get me that? And he said, yes, I can. And they reached out to me and said, hey, we're doing this for this dude. And before long, you guys will see what's going on with this. And I'm super excited about it. Well,
hell yeah, dude.
Another colleague of mine was kind of trying to get in on that deal because he was kind of local to that dealer. And I happened to be bullshitting with him one day on the phone. And when I was like, dude, I got this. And he hit me with the "must be nice." And I was like, it really is, man. It really
is, actually.
And I was like,
thanks for noticing, dude.
Salty ass motherfucker. Yeah, it's super duper fucking nice. I thought I was gonna get like a fuck yeah, man. You know what I mean, from my homie, but no, my homie was a salty ass little bitch. And I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and remember that you're a little sour ass chump motherfucker.
Yeah. So next time, bro, you just tell me. I'll gas you up. So we got Brandon said Drew just ordered a decal and shirt, and he did.
Bobby, when you send that box, just let me know so I can throw some shit on them stickers in there. Come on.
For sure. Send them to me. It'll be getting packed up. We're gonna, send. We have our thank
I'll
you
give
card
it to you at the barbecue. Some other stuff. Are you gonna pack it up before the barbecue or no?
It's almost done. There's just like a couple little things that we're fucking around with the lights and whatnot and making it like as perfect as they can possibly be, I mean, it's a 6/8 all acrylic box, and it's really super duper fucking sexy. And, the last one I built that I just did, I showed some pictures of recently, turned out really, really good. And this one is, as equal, except for it's a different color resin coating. And, it's pretty fucking super duper, man. And yeah.
Label printed. What's up? Label printed. Ready to go.
What did he order?
A shirt and sticker.
Yeah.
Nice.
I sell t-shirts too, dog.
Ready to go.
Hey man, fuck around. There's Gately Audio shirts on the Gately Audio website. You guys can do that shit. I got some stickers. I got a whole ass speaker bag. I got motherfucking speakers that say Gately on them. Fuck around.
Yeah. So now Scott's talking. You do actually. Someone made a post about your speakers today, and they said something about them. I said if Bobby puts his name on it, it's quality. Take that to the bank. And I said, because they said, how would they compare against Sundown or Resilient? I'm like,
Well, I can tell you how they compare if you're talking about putting them in my boxes, because they were engineered specifically to perform best in my boxes, and nothing, fucking nothing, is going to even be close. If you stick 4 Gately Audio Relentless 8s in one of my truck boxes, nothing is going to be similar in performance. Not a goddamn thing. So,
hell yeah.
That's what I will say. Because we tested the shit out of everything on purpose, and we dissected and we tore down subs and we measured every single fucking thing about every woofer. We reverse engineered everybody's badass product and figured out why the fuck they do what they do as well as they do. And there were some really cool fucking subwoofers, and there was a lot of straight up bullshit. So I'll tell you what was really cool. The B2 Audio Rampage 8 and the Sundown X8, those two were really, really cool. And they had some really very different from anybody else's shit. And then everything else was pretty goddamn sad. When it came to the 1,000-watt, 8-inch subwoofers, there was some really cool ones in the 600-watt range that I really liked. The B2 Rage, the DC, the Sundown SAs were really nice. And we probably tested a dozen plus of the most high performance 8-inch subwoofers that we could find in the development process of our woofers. So
hell yeah.
Like full dissection. And this is shit here. This is me like kind of emulating my knowledge of what Kicker does. Kicker's out there developing some really amazing subwoofers right now, and they bought everybody's shit. And they test the shit out of all of it. And
there was even some stuff that they couldn't get that we had to like order on the side and get shipped to them because they couldn't have an order fulfilled. It's kind of funny.
That's interesting. So this is like a little pat on the back for me, but we got an order a while ago, and I was like, oh, that's going to Stillwater, Oklahoma. That's pretty cool. My tech comes out, and he's like, got this Relentless 6.5 in his hands. He's got the label on it. He goes, this is going to Kicker? And I was like, oh, yeah? They're going to test my shit. Yeah. I was like, hopefully they tell me if they like it or not.
It's funny that it's a 6.5. I wonder if that means anything.
Might mean something. Who the fuck knows? Maybe just my 6.5 is so fucking badass they had to play with one. Maybe it's that. So. I'm going to say that's what it is.
I mean, if it would
find me a 6.5, find a goddamn 6.5, a real 6.5 that compares. I'll tell you what compares pretty good: a DD 1506, but that motherfucker is an 8 all fucking day if it's a 6.5. So, and it only compares. It doesn't do much over that. So
how about the Sundown 6.5?
Kicker tests everything. I'll put it that way. If you make a subwoofer, Kicker's bought one, guaranteed.
100%.
No doubt. Yep. When I was for the first time I went, well, I guess maybe the second time, but saw a bunch of products. This time I went so much more. Even custom versions of subs. Like I saw a Nightshade version 415. I'm looking at them like, that's a custom built sub. They don't know Sundown as well as I do, so they're like, is it? I'm like, yeah, that's not how that sub comes. But none of that. Yeah. So they're testing everything.
Yep.
Testing is everything. So, yes, it's funny. I fucking had a comment loaded up in my mind when they were saying the Solo X12 will be available Christmas time ish, and I was about to say, and Gately Audio will have Kicker Solo X12 and Solo X Double 12 enclosures available right at that same ass time. So I'm trying to get my hands on those woofers.
Enclosures ready day of.
I will absolutely, yeah.
Day of.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be a damn fool to not do that.
He may know a guy with some information. He may know a fella.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Man, I love.
If you haven't talked to Aaron already,
Kicker Car Audio. They are the seed of what is now Gately Audio. I fell off the tree of Kicker and boom, and Gately Audio grew its own little tree of badassery over here. I think I'm doing it good. I think they're proud of me. They helped me so much when I was starting out as just a shithead kid in his garage. I called so many times, and I spoke to Lori, and I probably drove her fucking nuts, but she stayed super cool and helped me over and over again. And you know, and when I started Gately Audio, when I created the business name of Gately Audio, one of the first products that I made was Kicker L7 square plexiglass boxes, and I put them on eBay. And I was paying my fucking mortgage by building clear sealed boxes for L7s because we hadn't all figured out that ported was way better yet. They didn't even have recommended ported boxes for the square subs yet at that time. It was a good year and a half, 2 years before anybody figured out that those things would work really well in ported boxes.
Ported boxes was like magic back in the day.
Man, it was crazy back in early 2000s. These guys were like goofing off and they were like, I don't know, man. I look at these parameters and I think this thing has got to be good in a ported box like this. And guys were trying to get like SPL numbers out of them first, but then guys started building big ass ported boxes that were super efficient. You'd run like 500 watts to an L712 in like 3 cubic feet with a big ass port, and you would have this crazy low bass extension. And they were like pretty bass. They're a little muddy sounding though, but they performed pretty well. And you know, when I did a bunch of testing with them, once guys started talking about how well they did ported, because I had been building band passes for them. I've been doing fourth orders and getting good-ish results. But as soon as I just bit the fuck out of my lip. As soon as I built a ported box at about 2.25 cubic feet, I was really pleased with the L7. And then I went on, you know, the people at Kicker hooked me up with a single 15, a 12, a 10, and an 8 to play with and just give them some feedback. And they gave me a little bit of designs. I built all the boxes they designed, and then I built, you know, a little bigger and a little different port areas and a little different port lengths on each of them, playing with them to figure out what the results were, and just gave them a little bit of feedback. It was an interesting process, and that was 22 years ago. Woo!
Yeah, yeah.
That was long ago.
Yeah,
I mean, I was alive technically.
Yeah, I was making babies 22 years ago.
Lord.
Yeah, Drew, we're old, bro. You're young. You're our fountain of youth. That's why you're here.
Yep. So yeah, in Christmas time, Gately Audio will have some badass Solo X boxes. I mean, if I think of any way to make them do something really special, if I think it'll be really badass in some version of a 4th or a 6th order that you could throw in a trunk or in the back of an SUV, I'll design it. But it'll likely be a ported box. But you know, we'll play with design stuff, and if there's something amazing, I'm going to do it.
Here, Bobby, this is one last question for you before we get out of here. Is your lead time 3 weeks for your 4x8 Relentless GM Crew Cab box?
Oh, they're in stock. Those boxes are in stock right now.
There you go.
Yep.
No.
You order that now. The subs. I'm sorry. The box would ship within a couple of days. The subs will be about 1 week. They have arrived, but we have not been able to like bring them into inventory yet. They're gonna sell out fast. This was supposed to be a small patch order to fill in a blank, and we thought we were gonna not run out of subs. We ran out of subs over a month ago, and we let a couple dozen people pre-order. We're gonna run out of subs again, and we got the new ones coming that probably won't be here. And I'm scared that we're gonna be out of subs for 2 or more months. You know, in the probably 2 months from now, because this order was smaller than we should have done it. Our projected sales on products is, I mean, this is a good thing, but it's kind of scary and kind of bad, but it's like double what we expected it would be at this point. And we are a little behind on production. So, but we do have the subs. And so if you go ahead and place your order They'll probably all the box will ship within a few days. The subs will be within a week or so at this point.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well,
yeah, that's a good solid 2 hours. It's always a good time. We did a good job of not talking in the last few days and fucking the whole thing up because we talk on the phone like this, just the three of us in general.
Yeah.
We need to. Yeah, our phone conversations are just going to cease to exist. We'll save it all for the podcast.
It'd be like that.
But we're gonna have some fun this next weekend. Maybe we'll take some videos of some private party debauchery and stuff. But yeah,
we'll try to figure out. Me and Drew will be right here at the shop, so we'll try to figure out some kind of special. We can do something to share with you guys. Maybe we'll do it with me sitting on Drew's shoulders for the whole show.
Maybe you could go live and cut my baffles.
Say what? Oh, cut your baffles?
Yeah. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
How about I cut them and I give them to you at the show? Can you do that? No, you're flying, huh?
No, I'm flying. But you could probably ship them from Sky High to me. It'd probably be easier if you wanted to bring them.
We'll get those baffles cut. We're a little behind on parts cut for my technicians to build, so I gotta kind of make sure I'm squeezing it in. That isn't gonna leave some poor technician that's supposed to be building shit standing there with his finger in his nose, you know? So.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk about it off.
Yeah.
Just cool. All right, boys. Have a nice night.
Y'all have a good one.
We'll see you soon. Later, guys.